Hey, what's going on everybody? Boilon here, and welcome back to another video on Marvel Strike Force with me, Sick COVID Boilon, yes. So if you weren't around on my Discord channel and heard my announcement, it turns out that all this time that I've been sick, I think it's been this way for almost a week, and turns out that I tested positive for COVID. Now, I would say that I'm probably about 80% on the mend. I still have a bit of a sore throat. You might notice this in my voice, maybe you won't. So my talking might be a bit erratic, but a lot of my symptoms are gone now. I'm also recording live from Swansea, Wales. So for those of you who are kind of keeping track of my progress and where I happen to be, this is also, I'm recording this before the blog on Friday, but the video itself is probably going to be coming out after the blog. One thing that I wanted to talk about today is all of the stuff related to character availability and subsequently farmability. We discussed this in the Diamond blog a little bit when I was still pretty sick, but I want to kind of deep dive this a little bit more, specifically on this instance, because for those of you who have followed my channel for a while, you know that I used to cover this quite a bit in the past. I used to have tables for this. I used to track this every single month in terms of how many characters became farmable every single month. I also have my character spreadsheet, and that shows all the data in terms of how long the characters have been out for. And so I want to kind of use that in conjunction with what we've been told and kind of take a look at who will be coming up and how frequently are we going to be seeing farmable characters see, that's the thing, right? Like, we really have to figure out whether or not they actually mean farmable every 4 months, or whether it means actually just more availability. I think they're doing well so far, and there's some characters that are going to be coming out next week that will be helping along with this. So I just kind of want to deep dive this a little bit more. So if you're ready to go, let's boil this down. And for those who have no idea what I'm talking about, it's really just this part of the blog. Really talked about character shard increased availability. Now, you may already see this in the game right now. They've actually done a lot of good things, and I do want to give them credit for where credit's due, is that they've really increased the ways in which we can get the character shards. So right now, for me, Gwenpool and Iron Fist World War II, they're in the Blitz store. You can buy them for 5 shards for $9.75, I believe it is, every reset. So I'm currently doing that. Unfortunately, the Blitz store, well, so it has changed a little bit. There is 5 for 500 on these characters. Now there's 10 for 500 on some of them. I'm wondering if this is something that people want me to, like, track or not, because, like, when characters go maybe from 5 for 500 to 10 for 500, I don't know if anything like this interests people at all. I'd have to basically go through the entire list of all the stores and see what they're currently at as of the update, and then if they get changed later down the line, because this is something that they were trying to do previously with the Arena store, but they never really did many updates to that. As far as the Raid store goes, there's like 9 slots. Most of them are 10 shards. Some of them are 20 shards, which is pretty insane. Now you're paying, in this case, you're paying 20 for 2,800 credits, or 10 for 2,800. So again, if that's something you guys want me to keep track of, which is like what characters are at 10, what characters are at 20, and if they ever change, or if the dates change, to switch them to the 20 side. I hope that they do consider that, though, and as more characters come out in these stores, that they kind of push other characters into that sort of 20 for 2,800, so it's, it's a lot easier to fast farm these characters, which is great. And I think this is a very big improvement for early and mid-game players right now, before the Diamond stuff comes out. And honestly, I'm not sure how much a big deal the Diamond stuff is going to be immediately anyways. So I think overall, this part is a pretty big win for the community. For the Arena, right now I'm also buying Star-Lord Annihilate. Yeah, I know, I don't really use Nowhere, right? You guys know that I never really built Nowhere, but I'm just collecting the shards anyways, because why not? I got 180,000 Arena credits, so might as well. Agent Venom on the way up to 7-star, so that's going to be pretty good, and I am using him, and I will use him for the trial, for the Green Goblin trial, so that's something that I'll be using. Deathlock is at 7-star, I just haven't upgraded him to 7-star, honestly. I don't know why. I barely use him, so yeah. We do have 10 shards, though, going on from Dagger onwards. So, I don't know when that was. I'd have to check my farmability cadence, but somewhere between Ghost Spider and Dagger, that makes the difference there. So I'm hoping when they add the next character, that Ghost Spider will then go into 10 for 500, and they actually do that all the way through, and that slowly they add some of the characters, into faster farmability. So 10 for 500 is pretty good. The only other issue is that that's it. All of these characters are 10 for 500, and if I'm not mistaken, and I have this, actually, so I want to find this in my chart here. I have it in the arenas. I have this. So I don't know if anyone's really seen this very much. I haven't really updated. But anyways, we had as many as 250 credits for some of these characters down here. And I guess, I guess that's what we're getting. We're getting more for the same. So like 10 for 500 instead of 5 for 250. But then we had like these characters here where it was like 5 for 375. Which, yeah, we're still getting a better deal here, I guess, at 10 for 500. But I feel like they could have done it a little bit better, and they just copped out and basically shoved everyone into 10 for 500 at this point. So it could have been a bit better. It's like basically if you're not 975, you're in the 500 category. Actually, sorry, 5 for 500, and then it jumps to the 10 for 500. Maybe this is a small gripe, but anyways, they could have improved that a little bit better. Because not everyone has as many arena credits hoarding as I do. Now, as far as the War Store goes, 10 for 2,000 and 10 for 2,750. So for Nakia, and I believe they added Firestar into the War Store, if I'm not mistaken. Then we're getting 20 for 2,000 as well. So there seems to be 3 categories. I don't think there's anything more than that. So 20 for 2,000, 10 for 2,000, and 10 for 2,750, which is the more premium. You guys know I don't really have Wakanda. I don't really build Wakandans, so that's why Nakia is not maxed. And then for the Crucible store, this hasn't really changed. I'm pretty sure Cosmo is still 5 for 600 as well, just like these other characters are. Except for these other ones, which are the super old ones, which you don't really need to spend for, are 5 for 300. I'm a little bit disappointed that they didn't upgrade this to like 10 for 500 or something, or like more shards for less, because they basically did it for every other store. Most of these characters aren't that useful anyways in this category of the Elite Crucible credits. That being said, I think they did a great job overall. And I want to go back to the blog and basically what they... I want to... This language that they used right here. So for most new characters, availability of their shards will be increased 4 months after their initial release. Now, what's really interesting about this is that it's for most characters, I believe... So I watched the MSF PV video that talked about the diamond stuff and all that. Admittedly, I skimmed and I watched it at like 1.5 speed. But I remember seeing a post, a slide that basically suggested that this is for 90% of the characters outside of what they deem as unique characters. And those unique characters includes characters like VAHL. They include characters like Dark Promotion credit characters, of course, but in Kang as well. So Kang and VAHL right now, which count as these sort of unique characters. So we're not going to be seeing VAHL in 4 months. The 4 months will actually be coming up. It's now, actually. We'll take a look at my character spreadsheet in terms of the release times. So this is for the majority of the characters, but not... When they say unique characters, they basically mean characters that are powerful. Characters that are, in the top 10, kind of really, regular characters that are very crazy powerful. So like Kang, VAHL... These other types of characters that we're not going to see farmable right away. Now, I'm hoping for everything else, this does mean farmable after 4 months, because this is some language that has been kind of gone back and forth a bit about, they said character increased availability of shards in 4 months. And so I want to kind of take note of this when they pointed this out specifically for Thor Infinity War and for Teen Loki, who are going into the new Nexus chapters next month, or well, next week actually. I always click on this. Yeah, I don't have my calendar doesn't show up for some reason. Anyways, November the 1st is next week. It's like, isn't it next Tuesday or Wednesday? I don't remember what day Halloween is. Honestly, I'm blurring right now because of my sickness. But anyways, let's go to my character tracker. And we scroll down to Thor Infinity War. So he's currently at 134 days. Maybe I'll zoom in a little bit more. Maybe you guys can't see it that well. All right, let's go over here. So Thor Infinity War. He's at 134 days as of today. Which means that next week, it's going to be just over 4 months. Which is fine. And Kid Loki, on the other hand, is essentially going to be 4 months next week. Which is good. That means it's farmable on a node. And as we know, that they've actually done pretty good at changing the nodes as well. And like I said, I want to give them credit where credit's due on this one. Because I have no problems giving them credit when they should. And so all the characters have now been made to 4 shards. All the nodes are 4 shards. And I kind of wanted to just see, so what does this mean then for these new nodes? 8. So, the average, is the average drop 8? Is the average drop 4? I mean, you can only do them like 4 times on these new ones compared to the other ones where you can do it 5 times. Not the 30, but the 24 nodes, right? Like, I don't even know if I can do this. I think I already did it for the day. But just for sake of argument, Let's do the training orb one. Not She-Hulk. Let's do this one here. I'm just like, what are we expecting for the average shard drops? Where the hell are the good... Let's... Oh my god, I don't need this. Let's do the dagger node, just for shits and giggles, and I'm going to spend some coins for this. So that's 5 attempts. Okay, I got 20. I don't know if I was just super lucky. Anyway, so what's the average drop rate for the character shards going forward? You know, and I think this is something that maybe I might have to test once Thor Infinity War and Loki come out, you know, because I'll be farming them every single day. And maybe if I keep track of that for a month, we'll have a better idea of sort of what the daily average shard drops are for that. But we know that most of our characters are around 4-star after the character releases. And so we need to go from 4-star, almost 4-star or 4-star to 7-star on a node. Now, you know, just for sake of argument, that's going to be about 630 shards. So let's say that we need 630 shards and divided by 8 shards a day. It could be more than that maybe, but let's just say for sake of argument. So that's almost 79 days that you need to farm for that, which is actually not too much above 4 months. So if they're right on the dot of 4 months, then we'll get this in like 6.5. Right? So that's not bad. That's way better than it was before because oftentimes, if we scroll back, days since release. Now, I haven't updated this fully for a while, but these things in red. So Spider, Brawn went 4... Oh, wait, no, never mind. I didn't actually update that. Let's go to H130, 137. So, like, some of these characters went well over 6+ months before they even started to become farmable, right? And that's just absolutely insane. Viv Vision went 220 days. Some of them were a bit quicker, but this is very rare, right? Valkyrie was 204 days. Mighty Thor was 196 days. So 6+ months before they become farmable. And actually, if you go way back when, like, it was just really bad. 200+ days. So, you know, the fact that we have increased shards that you can get now on the farm, whether it's in the store or whether it's on a node, this is going to be so much quicker as long as they keep to the 4 months. So what this means is that when Thor Infinity War becomes farmable, because now we have all this. This is all farmable. Gwenpool, Korg's in the raid store, Cosmo, Star-Lord Annihilation, and then Thor Infinity War is next. All this is all farmable. And so after Thor Infinity War, we just have the Bifrost. We're up to the Bifrost team. I don't think Big Time Spidey's going to become farmable because he's probably one of those unique characters because he's a dark promotion character. He's probably going to be staying in the raid rewards for a little bit while longer. And VAHL's being skipped, is what I understand. So basically, in a couple of weeks' time, we should be expecting Beta Ray Bill in no more than 2.5 weeks. And so as long as they can keep to this schedule, I'm more than happy. And what that means is, you can see here, it's 9 days between Beta Ray Bill and Sylvie. Essentially, and then Photon's 85, 77, you can see as it drops down. So it's basically every 7 to 10 days a character comes out. And so what this means is basically every week, or every week and a bit, we should have a farmable character. And we should expect this on the blog post every single week as to where a character is going to go. And if we get this, that's going to be absolutely amazing for the players. I actually think that the diamond stuff won't be that bad. I probably overreacted a little bit on some of this, but I do hope that they keep to this, because this is going to be really important, because if they fall by the wayside and then they don't stick to their word on the farmability, then we're going to be in trouble, right? You know, but as long as they do their diligence and they do this and they keep up with this, and you know, every single week with the blog post, and they let us know who's going to become farmable, then I'm going to be really happy, actually, because the way that they kind of essentially doubled the rates, right? Like when it comes to the store and the nodes, they've essentially doubled the rates of the character shards in there. So that's more than fine with me. I'm happy with that. And despite the diamonds, we don't really... We've seen the details, but I mean, really, I'd just like to see it in practice. You know, what it really means, like how many of these diamond orbs are we getting per week if we actually do our stuff, that kind of thing. And I'm not super bothered by it, to be honest, right now. You know, unless it starts blocking content like Dark Dimension, where you need to have characters at a diamond level, like not recommended, but like required, then that's another thing, because that's going to be causing issues for us to use new characters in those Dark Dimensions. Then we'll have to address that at a later point. But as far as, like, you know, having these characters and having them farmable much earlier than we had ever hoped to have them before, that I think is a positive for the player base. Let me know in the comments down below what you all think, because, you know, I've had some time to think about this, and I do think that I want to say that this is a net positive thing so far, as long as they keep their word. Right, as long as they keep their word to this, and you can see it, that we should basically be seeing one of these characters every week. So this week we'll probably see maybe mention of Beta Ray Bill, possibly. It might be too early for that. Maybe next Friday we'll get mention of Beta Ray Bill. I guess, so I'm recording this on Friday, actually. So anyways, on the next blog post, maybe we'll get mention of where Beta Ray Bill is going to go, and then the Friday after that we'll get Sylvie, and so on and so forth. So if that carries on, then this should be good for all of us. If it doesn't, then we'll have some words. So that's the end of this video, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and hopefully I'll be much better soon. And until next time, stay safe and healthy, because clearly I did not do that very well. And I'll see you all later. Boilon signing out.